Good morning, students. Welcome to our e-learning class. Students, today in this video, we are going to read Unit 1 with the title The Nationalism in Europe from the book India and the Contemporary World Part 2. So our unit name is Nationalism in Europe. In this video, today we are going to cover two important topics. They are 1848, the Revolution of the Liberals. 1848, the Revolution of the Liberals, and second one, the making of Germany, in which we will read about the unification of Germany. So very important topic, students. In these two topics there are several objective questions are there, along with one important long answer and 2-3 short answer questions are also there. So students, I appeal all the viewers to watch this video carefully and listen to the lecture with a lot of attentiveness. So let us start our topics today. Students, in the previous video we have studied that in 1848 and also before that 1830. So in 1848 and 1830, two revolutions occurred in France. The first revolution occurred in 1830, which is called July Revolution. It was occurred during the period of Charles X. Similarly, in 1848 in France, another revolution occurred, and this revolution occurred during the time of Louis Philippe. At the time, Louis Philippe was the ruler of France. So during his term, another revolution took place, and this revolution was successful in ending the monarchical rule. The monarchical rule, and in that place they established a socialist republican government. That already we have studied. So same we will continue from there itself. So generally in European continent several revolutions are taking place, and these revolutions are carried by poor people, unemployed people, starving peasants, workers. So these are the groups of people who are carrying out revolutions in France in various states or various countries. Similarly, in 1848, one such revolution occurred. 1848 is one of the revolutions that occurred in France, and this revolution was led by the educated middle class. The educated middle class, these people, they led the revolution in France in 1848, and this revolution otherwise called the February Revolution. 1848 revolution also called February Revolution because this took place in the month of February according to France calendar. Now, and this revolution was successful in abdication. Here abdication means what? Abdicate or abdication means what? Forcefully removing a ruler from his throne. Whenever a ruler is forcefully removed from his throne, that is called abdication. So this 1840 revolution was successful, or this February revolution was successful, and this revolution successfully ended, abdicated the Louis Philippe's throne, or I can say abdicated Louis Philippe from the throne of France. Okay, or I can say monarchical rule was ended, and in that place a republican government was started. A socialist republican government was started with the universal suffrage. With universal suffrage, I mean right to vote, had been proclaimed. That we have seen, and we have seen that only male people who are having property were given right to vote. Okay, so this revolution, this success of 1840 revolution in France have also spread to other European countries like Germany, Italy, okay, Austria, Hungary, Poland, etc. That means the success of French Revolution also inspired the people of Germany, the people of Italy, the people of Poland, the people of Austria and Hungary. So with that inspiration, the people of these states also started revolutions, against their, governments. At the time, monarchical rule was there, conservative rule was there, old order was there. Okay, why they led the revolution? Why the people led the revolution? Because they too want to make their nation, a republican government. They want to establish a parliamentary system. They want to unify all the small and big kingdoms into one unified nation, a strong nation. So that they desire. So the people of these states also led the revolution against their control. Monarchical rule, conservative rule, old order, in order to establish their state, their countries also a nation state. Because at that time, Germany, Italy, Poland, Austria, they were not nation states. They were still divided into number of small and big kingdoms, and all kingdoms are quarreling among each other, fighting with each other, having regular conflicts. So people are unhappy with the king's rule, monarchical rule. So they want to end monarchical rule. In that place, they want to establish a republican government with a parliamentary form system, where all could get a universal adult franchise, right to vote, etc., etc. So in all these countries, what I told, men and women of the liberal middle class combined the demands. What was their demand? Constitutionalism or constitutionalism. They want to establish a constitution for their country, and also with the national unification. They want to unify all the small and big kingdoms into one unified nation. That is the demand. Moreover, they want to establish their country a nation state, and with a parliamentary system. And in that parliamentary system, they want to provide what? Freedom of press. Freedom of press should be there, which was not there earlier. Censorship was there earlier. So they want to give freedom of press, and freedom of association, and universal adult suffrage, all these things. So these are the revolutions took place. Now we will take the example of Germany. Actually, Germany was not a unified state. It was divided in number of small and big states. A number of small and big states were there. For a long time, Napoleon Bonaparte, he formed a German confederation which comprises 39 states. Isn't it? You remember? Yes. So in Germany, a large number of political associations. In Germany, a large number of political associations whose members were middle class professionals, businessmen, and prosperous artisans were there. In Germany, a number of political associations were formed, which comprises middle class professionals, businessmen, and artisans. And all together, they want to establish a republican government. Hence, all together, they marched in the city of Frankfurt. Frankfurt is the name of a place in Germany. So Frankfurt, and decided to vote for a all German National Assembly. They decided that they'll unify all the small and big kingdoms into one unified German nation. So they met at Frankfurt, and they decided, they vote, everybody voted, everybody gave their willingness that they want to form all German National Assembly. Okay. On 18th May 1848, remember the date, on 18th May 1848, around 831 elected representatives, 831 elected representatives marched in a festive procession. Here, festive is what? Just like a long procession as you are going in the festival time or during marriage time. So in the form of festive procession, to take their places in the Frankfurt Parliament, conveyed in the Church of St. Paul. So where the Frankfurt Parliament was conveyed, held at the St. Paul Church. At the St. Paul Church it was happened. Okay. So all the 831 representatives, they drafted a constitution for a German nation. They drafted a constitution for the entire German nation to be headed by a monarchy. See the joke. They drafted a constitution, but at the same time they said that now Germany will be headed by a monarchy, as well as there will be a parliament. The people of all the German states, these middle class professionals, okay, the businessmen and prosperous artisans, these people, they want monarchy as it is. but they want a unified German nation. At the same time, they want parliament also. That means they want monarchy and parliament parallel to each other. I mean simultaneously. So that is called constitutional monarchy. Whenever in any country, one side there will be parliament, other side there will be king's rule. So both are there. That system is called constitutional monarchy. So they established a constitutional monarchy. And all the people, the deputies, offered the crown. I mean, they offered the crown for that monarchy, and they invited one person called Frederick Wilhelm IV. Frederick William IV, the king of Prussia. Actually, the king of Prussia, Frederick William IV, he was invited by all the deputies and offered the crown of the unified Germany. But what happened? Okay, he rejected it. Who rejected? Frederick William IV rejected it and joined with other monarchs. He joined with other monarchs to oppose the elected assembly. I mean, he don't want. Generally, king never supports parliamentary form of government. King never supports constitutional form of system. So he rejected the offer because parliament was there. I mean, don't want that. I mean, he want that monarchy should rule over the German nation. There should not be in parliament, but here parliament is there. So he don't want to be a constitutional monarch. Hence, he rejected the offer, and he joined with other monarchs and rejected the elected assembly. Now, while the opposition of the aristocracy military became stronger, so who opposed them? Aristocracy people and the military people, they opposed mostly this one. I mean monarchy. Okay. Now the social base of parliamentary eroded. The parliament was dominated with middle class, and in that parliament, who were dominating at that time? Middle class was there. So middle class was dominating in the German parliament at that time, soon after the formation. And this middle class people, they resisted the demands of the workers and the artisans. They never listened to the demands of the workers and artisans. They neglected their demands, their voice. Hence, that middle class people also got opposition from these people. Consequently, they lost the support, and in the end, troops were called in, and the assembly was forced to disband. Finally, the experiment of establishing a constitutional monarchy was failed. Now, the issue of extending political rights to women. The issue of extending political rights to women was controversial one within the liberal movement, in which a large number of women, they formed what? Political associations. They participated in several revolutions, and they formed political associations, participated in several revolutions. They founded several newspapers, and they have taken part in many political meetings and demonstrations for demanding what? Suffrage for women also. Despite this, they were denied of what? Suffrage rights during the election of the assembly. The assembly election was there, but women were not given right to vote. When the Frankfurt Parliament was conveyed in the St. Paul Church, women were admitted only as observers. I mean, they can sit in the Parliament as an observer status in the visitors gallery, but they have no right to vote. Now, though conservative forces, monarchies, old order people, though conservative forces were able to suppress the liberal movements, the conservative forces, the monarchies, they were successful in suppressing the liberal movements in 1848. They could not restore the old order. Though they were able to suppress the liberal movements in 1848, but they are unable to establish their old order once again. Monarchs were beginning to realize, all the monarchs, they realized that the cycles of revolutions and repression could only be ended by granting some concessions to all the people, whatever they are demanding. The monarchs realized, whatever the people are demanding, if we will fulfill those demands, at least then they will stop doing the revolutions against the monarchies. Okay. Hence in the years of after 1848, the autocratic monarchies of Central and Eastern Europe began to introduce changes. They introduced some changes that had already taken up in the Western Europe before 1815. The serfdom. Here serfdom means what? Slavery, agricultural slavery. The serfdom and the bounded labor was abolished. The serfdom and the bounded labor system which was there in these states, they were abolished by the monarchies. I mean, they brought some reform. And at the same time, Saddam was abolished both in the Habsburg domains and Russia. The Habsburg rulers granted more autonomy, more power to the Hungarians in 1867. Now, coming to our next important topic, that is the making of Germany, unification of Germany. Students, the making of Germany. Now, in the textbook it is given like this: Germany, can the army be the architect of a nation? Can the army will become the architect of a nation? Whether army can form a nation? If yes, how it is? If no, why not? Let us see. With unification Germany, we will come to know that one what happened. After 1848, nationalism in Europe moved away from its association with democracy and revolution. Nationalist sentiments were often mobilized by conservatives for promoting state power and achieving political dominations over Europe. Fine. This can be observed in the process by which Germany and Italy came to be unified as a nation states. How will you come to know that one? During the process of Germany and during the process of Italy, you will come to know that what happened. As you have seen, nationalist feelings were widespread among middle class Germans. The nationalist feelings are more found among which people? The middle class people of Germany or German states, who in 1848 tried to unite the different regions of German Confederation. I told German Confederation was 39 states. Okay, so the liberal middle class, they tried to unite all the 39 states into one strong united Germany. They tried in 1848. Okay, so German Confederation into a nation state governed by an elected parliament. They made the experiment, but it was unsuccessful. The liberal initiative to nation building was, however, repressed by the colonial force of the monarchy. I mean, they tried to attempt to make German nation state, but it was stopped by the monarchical rule, the conservatives. Okay, and not only monarchies, with the help of military and supported with a large number of landholders. Military and monarchy, these people, they repressed or suppressed the attempts made by the liberal middle class to unify Germany into a nation state. Okay, so here one important thing, you will come across one important word, Junkers. 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 Who were Junkers? Now I am telling the answer. Junkers were the large land owners. The large land owners of Prussia are called Junkers. The large land owners of Prussia are called Junkers. Okay. From then on, Prussia took. Now Prussia, middle class people failed. They were unsuccessful in making Germany a unified nation. Now, to unify Germany, the ultimate task was taken by Prussia. Prussia is one of the, state at that time. And this Prussia took up the task of unifying Germany. Okay, so Prussia took the task on the leadership of the movement of unification Germany. Dash state have taken the task for the unification Germany? Prussia, P-R-U-S-S-I-A. And at the time, the Prussia was headed by the king William I. William I was the ruler of Prussia at the time. And he appointed one prime minister for him. His name is called what? Otto I Bismarck. So Bismarck was the prime minister and William I was the ruler of Prussia. So the ruler appointed for him one of the prime minister named Bismarck. So unification of task was taken by Prussia, whose unification? German unification. And its chief minister Otto I Bismarck was given the task. So Otto I Bismarck was given the task by William I. Or William I, the ruler of Prussia, gave the task of unifying Germany to Bismarck to unify Germany. Okay, so its chief minister Otto I Bismarck was the architect of this process. So he is the main person. Otto I Bismarck was the chief architect of the unification of Germany. So Otto I Bismarck was the architect of the process called Germany, and he carried it with the help of his military power. I mean, he said, I will unify the Germany, but for which I need strong military power in my hand. He said that with a strong military power, I can achieve the target. And Bismarck followed one policy called blood and iron policy. I repeat once again, blood and iron policy. Once in his speech, Bismarck once in his speech, he said that, give me as much as blood and iron to me. Or I can say, give as much as blood and iron in the hands of the, Prussian ruler, so that he can carry out the administration as per the wishes of the people. That means, if strong military power is given in the hands of the ruler of any state, then only he can rule the state as per the wishes of the people. And here Otto von Bismarck, he believed that with strong military power he can achieve the unification of Germany, and he followed blood and iron policy. So he carried out the task put with the help of the Prussian army. See, with the help of Prussian army he carried out the task. And bureaucracy, not only army, bureaucracy means what? With the help of officers. There were 3 wars and 7 years. Bismarck took 3 years by waging 7 wars. Within 3 years, by waging 7 wars, he unified the Germany. How many years? 7 years. How many wars? 3 wars. War with Austria, war with France, war with Denmark, war with Austria, war with France, Austro-Prussian war, Franco-Prussian war, war with Denmark. By waging these 3 wars, I repeat, war with Denmark 1865-66, Austro-Prussian war 1866, Franco-Prussian war 1870. So with the help of these 3 wars, in 7 years, he was successful in achieving the unification of Germany. So 3 wars over 7 years with Austria, with Denmark and France. I told you, Austro-Prussian war, Austrian-Prussia war, Austro-Prussian war, France and Prussia war, Franco-Prussian war, and war with Denmark. Ended the Prussian victory. So ultimately who got victory? Prussia. Prussia got victory in all these 3 wars and completed the process of unification. And completed the process of unification. He brought all the German states which are under control of Austria, or which are some under control of what? France. He took all the, by defeating Austria, he took Austrian controlled German states under his control. By defeating France, he brought those German states which are under control of France under his control. By defeating Denmark, he brought some states which are under control of Denmark. Some German states which are under control of Denmark, he brought under his control. So by combining all the states, he unified the Germany. Okay. In January 1871, Franco-Prussian war was ended in 1870. So with the end of Franco-Prussian war, the unification of Germany was accomplished. So in January 1871, the Prussian king, who was the Prussian king? I told you, William I at that time. So William I was proclaimed as the German emperor in a ceremony held at Versailles. Here Versailles is a place in where? France. Versailles is a place in where? France. See, last war was Franco-Prussian war. Versailles is a place in France. So at that place only, after ending the 3 wars, Bismarck went to his ruler, his king, and said that I have completed the unification, sir. So the William I, he himself coronated, declared as the Emperor of United Germany at Versailles city in France. It was held in 1871. On the bitterly cold morning, now listen, on the bitterly cold morning, on 18th January 1871, an assembly comprising the princes of German states, representatives of the army, important Prussian ministers, including the chief minister Otto von Bismarck, gathered in the unheated, the mirror palace of Versailles. So in Versailles there is a mirror palace was there. So all gathered there to proclaim the new German empire headed by the Kaiser William I. William I or Kaiser William I of King of Prussia. So now I am asking, who became the Emperor of United Germany? Who became the Emperor of United Germany? William I, the King of Prussia, or Kaiser William I, the King of Prussia. Who unified Germany? Prussia country. But who took the initiative? Bismarck, Otto von Bismarck. Who was Otto von Bismarck? The Prime Minister, the Chief Minister of Prussia. So in this way, the nation building process in Germany had demonstrated the dominance of Prussia state. Now Prussia is dominating over the German state. The new state placed a strong emphasis on modernizing the currency. When Prussia made unified Germany, then all the 39 states were brought under German control. Now they introduced a unified currency, a common currency in that state. Banking system also, legal and judicial system in Germany also uniform. Prussian measures and practices often became a model for the rest of Germany. So whatever model of system they adopted in Prussia, the same model they adopted in Germany also. So in this way the unification Germany was happened, students. So we have completed both the topics. We will come up with some more topics in the coming video. Till then, take care.